NDI is completely changing the way that we do video production. It's basically taking capture cards and cables out of the equation and just relying entirely on your Ethernet cable. One of the people who I think trust most about NDI in the world today is Paul Richards, our guest for today, and he and I will be diving in deep on that subject, as well as many others, including streaming live to YouTube, and how do you aggregate your live comments from all these social media platforms onto your screen in real time to basically boost your audience engagement. This is some really cool stuff, and nobody's innovating faster on this front than Paul and the folks over at PTZOptics. So stick around. You're definitely going to want to check out this show, and we'll see you back here right after the opening credits. This is Wirecast Live. Welcome to another episode of Wirecast Live. I'm your host, Andrew Haley. I'm the live streaming and product evangelist for Wirecast here at Telestream. And every week, we come to you live from our studios here in California at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. And you can always catch up or subscribe if you want to catch the latest show or get news about what guests we've got coming on by subscribing to our email list. You can get notified right before. And we also have these social media channels where you can follow us on any of these. We do stream live on Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube simultaneously, and if that is your preferred medium of choice, that's a great place to log on and join the conversation. And of course, if you do want to get notified of past shows, you can head over to our YouTube channel and you can check out all the episodes we've done. And as I mentioned, we also have an email subscription list. So the URL for that is going to be telestream.net/WirecastLive. It's a great place to sign up, and we do send you notifications just before we're about to go live, and you can learn about the latest topics and news and guests that we're bringing on the show. So if you like this, please share it and subscribe. And if you think someone else would enjoy watching, then we basically cover anything to do with live streaming and production on this show. And I try to bring you the latest news as well as experts in their fields around live streaming and live video production. So I think it's well worth checking out if this is something you're interested in. And of course, we also do live learning sessions, which you should stick around after the show because we do continue and always do a hands-on demo of some kind where you can either learn in-depth tips and techniques, either related to Wirecast or other products or other services around the live streaming environment. And today is going to be a real cool one. Paul's going to be leading us through his plugin for bringing in live comments. So you'll definitely want to check that out as well. We have a few announcements. First of all, speaking of that plugin, there is a live giveaway that we're doing on the show right now. So you should definitely go enter if you haven't. Paul's giving away 10 free copies of this plugin, which is really cool. I just tested it out yesterday, and I'm really impressed with what he's done over there. He basically, you can, and we'll talk about this during the show and go over it during the hands-on session, but basically you can curate your live comments and bring in live chats from your YouTube streams. And soon he's going to be adding Facebook and other platforms so that you can see the comments coming in and then display them in real time in graphics, similar to what you see with my lower third title right there, or my little subtitle there. You'll be able to do that and see pictures of the people who are posting and commenting. So if you are curious on where and how you should enter that giveaway, you've only got about 15-20 minutes left. We will be announcing winners at the end of this show. And Paul, when he comes on, we'll talk a little bit more about how you can boost your chances of winning those. So head over to the giveaway page. I think we have a display of that page, which you can put on the screen. So Deborah Lee, if you have that up, there it is. So you can head over to the YouTube Live Lower Thirds title creator. It's a giveaway, and the URL for that is, I believe, over on the PTZOptics website. So if you just look for PTZOptics giveaway, you should be able to enter that as well. And then Paul can give you a little more information when we bring him on about this, because again, time is running out. All right, that being said, we have a few other shows coming up you'll want to know about. Next week, we have Andrew Choe from Adult Swim. And then following that will be Luria Petrucci. So there's Andrew Choe. We got this out of order here. June 22nd, is Andrew Choe, and then July 13th will be Luria. So we have a break there. I'll be at the ISTE conference between those two shows. So we will have no show at the end of this month because I'll be out of town. But after that, we will have some great shows coming out. And one of the ones I'm really looking forward to interviewing is Luria to talk about how she's going to be the 4 levels of live streaming. It's going to be a really fun show. She's always great to have on. And Andrew Choe next week is going to be interesting as well because I've never interviewed him, and they're doing some really, really fabulous live streams over at AdultSwim.com. If you don't know Adult Swim, it is a comedy network designed for maybe older type comedy elements, funnier, sort of an older type crowd. It's not the young cartoony type crowd. They definitely do some material that might be suitable for older audiences, and they stream a lot of really hilarious, random, weird shows at AdultSwim.com. And they also have a nightly segment on the Comedy Central channels. So they were very, very involved with some of the funniest sort of media that's come out in the last 2 decades or so. So I think it's going to be a really fun conversation when I sit down with him. And I highly, highly encourage you to tune in next week for that interview. All right. With that being said, I think it's time to get to our main segment for today and bring on our special guest of honor, Mr. Paul Richards from PTZOptics. He's joining us live on our Zoom call here. And Paul, there you are.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, thanks for being here, man.
My pleasure. It's always fun to come on the Wirecast live show. I really am a big fan of what you've been doing, and I'm happy to be here.
Likewise. In fact, Paul, I think you were the first guest we ever had on the show. So this is a bit of an honor to bring you back on, and I think you might be our first repeat guest. So we're gonna have to send. I think we just have to send him like a T-shirt just for being here because we need to send you some sort of thank you gift for coming on the show again. I'm really glad to have you here.
The show has come so far, and like every show, it's always building blocks and getting better and better. And you've really taken it taken it really far, Andrew. It's really looking good.
Appreciate it. Yeah, actually, next week I think is our 50th episode. And we'll be doing a little bit of a retrospective on just how bad we were when we started. So hopefully you're getting better. So yeah, you should check that out. It's definitely, I think we like to watch what other people are doing out there and how we can constantly improve our own game and make our content more exciting and more engaging for people who tune in every week because we want to make it worth their time. So David Dopel, on that note, is actually wondering about the link for the giveaway, Paul. So I don't know if you have the URL there available.
You can go to ptzoptics.com/giveaway. I just updated that, so it should be right there.
Awesome.
It should be all good.
/giveaway, and I'm going to type that into the chat there. Although I think YouTube hates it when you put links in the chat. You know what the deal is with that?
I thought if you were the moderator, you could do that, but I'm not sure. You can definitely put it in the video description.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ptzoptics.com/giveaway, and there's quite a few different ways to enter this contest, and we'll be drawing it in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes, just before the hour, and I believe Tess is putting that link there in the Facebook chat for you folks on Facebook. So more than one way to get there. You have about 20 minutes, and maybe we should just, so people have time to figure out what's the best way they can boost their chances of winning this cool plugin you guys have made. Can you talk a little bit about the rules and what you can do to enter?
Yeah, so we're using a service called Gleam.io, and I highly recommend it, especially for live shows, because on our live show, we do live giveaways every Friday, kind of like this, and it helps us boost our social media engagement. So in order to enter the contest, there's various different ways, and each way gives you additional entries into the contest. So it's a great way to boost social media integration, and some of the different ways are to learn about the prize by commenting on a video. You can tweet out the fact that you have entered. You can simply click to enter. And then I believe one way is to go ahead and like the Telestream Facebook page. So there's a couple different ways to enter the contest, and it's all automatically managed by Gleam.io, and I can't tell you how much fun that little application has been for us.
Yeah, that seems really cool because not only do you guys set up the contests every week, but you've set up this mechanism for helping boost engagement and sharing, and so basically reward people and increase their chances of winning the prize by getting them to get out there and spread the word and boost about the prize. So I think it's this really like one-to-one relationship between the contest and then getting people excited about the contest and what you guys are doing every week. So that's really cool. Gleam.io, is it a free service that you can sign up for?
It is not free. Oh, there may be a free option, and then there's a paid option. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember. I do know that we pay about $50 a month to have that option.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
And I'm sure usually sites like that offer a trial of some kind, so you can test it out and check it out. Cool. Gleam.io. We will check that out. I think that's something we've been looking for, a good contest sort of running software, something we can do similarly. We'll check that one out, I think. So, Paul, let's rewind a second. And for those who may not know you and don't know your history and your background, can you just introduce yourself a little bit and talk about who you are and how you came to PTZ Optics and what you guys do at PTZ Optics?
Sure. So here at PTZ Optics, we are a live streaming PTZ camera manufacturer. And for those of you that are in the industry, you may recognize one of our camera models here. So I can take a look at them later. But a little bit about myself. I've been in the pro audiovisual industry for about 10 years. So I've been going to Infocom and NAB for a long time, actually as an integrator, and then only recently, about 4 years ago, as a manufacturer with PTZ Optics. So I've kind of seen a lot of different customers using professional audiovisual technology for the past 10 years. And I've seen it from an integration standpoint. So someone who actually goes in and helps customers outfit conference rooms and training facilities and studios with technology. And now I'm looking at it from a manufacturing standpoint. So I've seen quite a few different viewpoints of this industry, and I can't tell you how amazing this time is right now, especially looking just a couple years ago when Facebook Live didn't even exist 2 years ago. I mean, it's just such an interesting time right now. So I'm really excited to be on the manufacturing side, where I get to host a live show every Friday. I get to really just kind of blog and make videos and just try to provide value in a way that I think is similar to what you're doing, Andrew, as well.
Yeah, I think we're both content marketers in that respect, and our job is to make interesting connections between technologies out there right now, between our products or services and what else and what everyone else is offering. I mean, obviously that's how we connected. Our products are pretty simpatico, and it makes sense that in this sort of industry, no one solution does it all. We're all a piece of the puzzle, and you need to sort of configure that all together. And you're one of those people I look to most often because I really think you're a stellar content creator, and you make awesome sort of live shows, you make awesome blog posts, and you are always connecting dots. And it's one of the things I love to learn about and watch what you're doing. And so I highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen what Paul's doing, you should always follow him, either subscribe on his blog or watch his show. He's always got something really cool out there. So that's my plug for you for sure. But more than that, one of the trends I think you spotted early on coming from the AV space is that there's this sort of convergence happening between the live conferencing and live broadcasting spaces, and these technologies that where I'm coming from, the broadcasting side and the video production side, are now coming head to head with this AV conferencing space. And I think I heard a statistic, something like 80% of the video that corporations shoot happens in a conference room. But they're also finding that more often than not, that is actually valuable sort of content that they can use either for sales videos, training videos, marketing videos, or just content that can be adapted for people to help get the word out about what they're doing. And so I think it's really interesting that the boardroom is now becoming almost like a public forum. And a conference room is now becoming almost like a stage or a studio in that sense. And so with Infocom going on right now, I mean, can you talk a little bit about where you're seeing the industry headed, both in the AV space, and what trends you see coming in to influence that recently from the broadcasting side?
Sure. And that's a topic that I do feel really comfortable talking about coming from the pro AV space. Our company is at Infocom right now. And Infocom is a very interesting show that I think a lot of people that go to NAB might not even attend, but it actually is much more focused on the corporate pro AV boardroom space. What I'd like to do, Andrew, is show my second camera because I'm actually sitting in a boardroom right now.
Right. I was thinking of you. You're in a boardroom right now. And
So,
you've turned it
so here I
into
am.
a studio.
Exactly. And we had more and more. So this is actually what we decided to do ourselves. So you can see here that just right over here, we actually turned this into like a little broadcasting studio. So we took a nook inside of our boardroom and decided to turn it into a broadcast studio where we vinyl papered the wall, we put in special lights, rigged it up with everything we needed. And a lot of people think that when me and Tess are in our live show together, that we're in completely different spaces. But actually, I'm in front of a green screen right in front of her, and she's sitting right there.
It's amazing.
So it's pretty funny. And then right in front of me, it's just a traditional boardroom. It's a little messy, but you can see there's a projector, a television, a boardroom conferencing table, all the things you'd expect. But we've kind of retrofitted it into a studio.
And you're sitting at the end of the boardroom table. It's so awesome. Like you could not give a better example of how these spaces are being adapted for this stuff. And you're doing it yourself. You're living proof of that. Okay, and we need to move on to talk about cameras and what's going on with cameras. I definitely want to get to that, and then cover our other topic, which is the YouTube plugin. But before we do, why is this happening? Why is this trend occurring, Paul?
Well, I think there is a widespread adoption of video, not just in the world that we're thinking of live streaming, which is absolutely on fire, and I think growing even faster than the video communication space, but we're using Zoom video conferencing right now. Zoom is on fire. 2 or 3 years ago, they had like 3 employees. Now they've got like 1,000, and I'm not even joking. They're at $1 billion valuation. And so making professional video, making it available to everyone on every device. And I think it has to do with compression. It has to do with internet access. It has to do with bandwidth, everything coming together. But I think in the corporate space, especially if that's what we're talking about here, I see finally corporations that have hundreds and hundreds of meeting rooms where they just had a television and you could plug in your computer and that was great. You could have a little presentation. Now they're finally saying, okay, every single room can have video conferencing because they can buy a Logitech webcam, an Intel NUC or a Mac Mini, and it's only a couple $1,000s, and they can video enable spaces for almost next to nothing from what it used to cost just 5 years ago. And so that trend is making it so that if people, I'm just seeing it left and right. All right, we're going to do 100 video conferencing rooms. You never heard that before because it was cost prohibitive. So the costs have come down, the bandwidth is there. And honestly, I think video communications in the corporate space is having a larger effect than the live streaming. I think when I talk to some of the customers, they're putting in 20 conference rooms for video conferencing so that they can increase communication and decrease costs. And then 1 or 2 of those conference rooms, they're saying, let's put a green screen in, let's make a studio. You know, we got to give the marketing guys a little fun place. And they actually spend a lot more money in those places, you know, making vinyl paper, putting in better cameras. Wirecast is needed, maybe a Wirecast gear, multiple cameras. It's a much more in-depth process in those spaces, but a corporation might only need 1 studio, almost like a university or a college. They've got 1 broadcast studio and they've got 50 classrooms, and all of those classrooms need Skype or GoToMeeting or WebEx. And I think with the new tech NDI, some of the new things with the IP workflows, those classrooms will now be able to connect into the broadcast studio in a way that is really interesting, exciting.
Yeah. And for real-time communication between people that, where it's low stakes, right? You just want to be able to see and talk to each other. And if you need to throw up a slide or talk about a presentation or whatever, no big deal. But then pretty soon you quickly realize, like, wait a second, what if we want to give this presentation not just between each other, but actually record it for posterity and clarity, and then share it or broadcast it out to the world? And that's when they immediately start thinking video production. And they've
Yes.
moved from the conferencing side of things. So it is interesting to see there's just this little leap that happens, and it can happen in a second depending on the content that's being shared and the purpose behind that content. So good stuff. Really great overview of why all this is occurring right now. So, and how we kind of, these two industries are beginning to merge into each other and overlap a little bit. So let's talk about NDI and cameras, because I know you know about cameras and I know you know about NDI. So can you talk a little bit about what's coming with that trend, what you see there, and as far as how you guys as camera manufacturers are looking to adapt and go cableless, or not, if not cableless, just get it down to a single, Ethernet cable.
Yeah, so just backing up really quickly in case anyone doesn't know about NDI, it's from NewTek. It's called the Network Device Interface. And NDI is a low latency IP protocol really built for video production. And it's resolution independent, and it allows you to, over the network, and potentially wireless over a Wi-Fi network, connect all of these different devices, whether it's a Wirecast or a TriCaster or a camera one day. And it's the number one question we get. When is the NDI camera coming? Because now that NDI is available in Wirecast and so many different manufacturers are adopting this technology, it allows for all these different things that would normally take a capture card or a hardwired HDMI or HDSDI cable that could have been impossible to really do, but now is very easy over an IP network, which can span the globe. It all can be connected. So that's why people are asking for this, because let's take the example of the university that has a studio with a Wirecast gear, which is NDI capable, and they also have 100 classrooms. Well, if those classrooms all have a license of Wirecast, they can technically be connected directly to the studio in low latency, and all of these assets can now be shared and stored. So that's kind of the goal, and it is a long. Sorry, my
No
thing.
worries.
It is probably going to take a long time for this all to really flesh out, but on a small basis, we're seeing it happen, and it really is happening today. It was originally released in 2016 at NAB, and now here we are in 2017. NAB just passed, so we've got a full year. I think it's been more than a year, and so things are really starting to happen, and everyone has been asking from day one for an NDI camera, and we've been very public with saying that we're working directly with NewTek to get this done. And let me show you guys just a picture of our picture. I'll show you a live view of our camera really quickly. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with this, but from day one, PTZOptics cameras have always had, there we go, a network connection. And so the dream is that this network connection would do everything. It would power the camera, it would do all your video, and we actually have a line in, so you can actually embed audio. So audio, video, streaming, control, power control as well, pan, tilt, zoom control, everything over this one IP port. And we're getting very, very close. In fact, this is our SDI model here. This model, the SDI models come in 20x and 12x, has power over Ethernet. So with one Ethernet cable, we can power the camera, we can stream video directly to Wirecast using, we will talk a little bit about that, Andrew. And you can actually run your audio into the camera as well. So audio, video, and power, and PTZ control, and it's all actually open source. So by having an open source camera, it's really helped us, and it's been pretty fun. And
very, very cool. One of the things I love, and I want to point out there, that you don't have a cameraman in the studio right now. You were dynamically adjusting your camera angles. How are you doing that?
So on this remote control here, there are presets. And presets actually allow us to click a button and preset a position. So that's been instrumental in so many one-man shows, obviously, but also for a lot of different productions where you can remotely control the cameras, and it allows you to, use a joystick controller and PTZ the position of the camera.
Right. Well, that's very, very cool. And again, I think your point is that, like, your goal is to get everything down to just that single Ethernet jack, and maybe an audio in or something. But one of the things I've always loved about your cameras is that you're very, very open to additional connections on the back. Like, I don't think I've seen a camera manufacturer that's just like, yeah, we'll put a USB 3 on there for you. Yeah, we'll put an SDI or an HDMI connection, or you want Ethernet, we do it all. Like, RS422, sure, you got it. Like, all of that stuff is is right in the back. And so obviously when you can get down to just a single Ethernet port, that's going to be great. But up till this point, you guys have been fantastic about allowing everyone to just have whatever connection they need. So we're getting to the closing mark. We only have a little more time. We're already out of time. It goes so fast here.
My projector turned off on me. Just give me 1 second.
That's all right. That's all right.
I don't know why.
I'll let you fix that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to maybe talk about the giveaway here. We're going to be basically, you've got about 1 minute left, or actually it's just about time up. So if you guys want a chance to win these plugins, we're going to cover that next, and then we will be doing some giveaways at the end when we finish talking here. And so, Paul, one thing that is important to mention, and I think something we should talk about, is NDI is, I think, again, making it a lot easier for everybody to connect their sources across their network for software like Wirecast to switchers like TriCaster and so forth. But there's also, and eventually you're going to be having cameras connected directly to NDI. And so, again, you'll just have this connection, very low latency, high quality over your local network to be able to grab camera signals when you guys are done. But in addition to that, you guys are also, there's the final piece of this, which is we're still using Zoom here, and we still use like some sort of conferencing software and so forth. Are you seeing companies like Zoom or Skype, or do you think they're considering adding NDI compatibility?
I do not think so. No, I think, and I apologize for my projector turns
totally
off
fine.
at this time.
Totally fine.
It's the Crestron system does it on a timing system, and it really scared me there.
No worries.
It's a little late here on the East Coast.
No, we're
but
keeping
no,
you late.
Oh gosh, here's my guess. Okay, I think it's going to work the opposite way. All right, and this is a guess. I don't know anything, but I think what's going to happen is NDI is going to allow you to bring in video sources into Skype, into Zoom. So, for example, NDI compatibility on Wirecast will allow us to take all these video sources from all over your network, and then we can use the external feature to feed into Skype, to feed into Zoom. So it will affect the web conferencing industry and the video conferencing space. But I think it's going to happen basically from Wirecast as it does today, but now extending the NDI compatibility.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see that if that prediction comes true, or if they decide to integrate directly. I know it'll be whoever makes the first move. It was the same thing I would have said, like Zoom and Skype, you're never going to stream to Facebook Live off of those, but I was wrong there. So with, Blue Jeans made their first broadcast right out. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes. I would like to talk about the streaming awards and also talk about the plugin. So you guys are doing the streaming awards, and tell us a little bit about the streaming awards.
Yeah, I actually have kind of a streaming awards background
I see
here.
That.
And it's been a lot of fun. The streaming awards are going to be for the 2017 streaming awards are going to be June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And Wirecast is a sponsor. So actually Wirecast will be part of our, kind of our push here.
But that will not influence
awards.
the voting or the winners in any way, right? Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah, so Andrew has been nominated. We went through a nomination process, and we're live streaming 24/7 up until the date showing the results of the votes, and that's going to be really fun. It's going to be it's the first year, so we just wanted to recognize all of the great streamers out there. We know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to have a show. And we just wanted to recognize a lot of the people in the industry. And I've been so surprised at how quickly people have said, because there's the giant Streamy Awards, and there's the Oscars, and there's all this stuff. But all of the smaller video production people that are our customers and your customers don't necessarily get recognized. So that was the point.
I think it was a brilliant idea, and I think that it's something that I also was wondering when somebody was going to do this. So I'm glad you guys took the plunge, and you're hosting the award ceremony, and you're organizing all this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys are curious want to learn anything about the streaming awards, you want to nominate your favorite hosts, or vote for them, go over to streamingawards.com. Again, that's streamingawards.com. We can post the links in the just chats and descriptions, and you guys can head over there. And I think the voting ends by June 30th, end of the month, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, on to the other hot topic for today, which is the plugin you've developed. Can you talk a little bit about this awesome plugin? I've been sort of hyping it up to people, and I think that it is a very, very cool thing you guys are doing. How did you get the idea, and what is it exactly?
Sure. So I was talking to actually you, Andrew, a little bit about this. The YouTube API has just, kind of been updated and to include super chats and different things that are the new features. And we wanted to find a way to easily bring that in, because I'm not a coder. I am not a coder. I don't know how to use APIs that well. And so I was like, I want to get this data into my live video productions, but I just don't know how. And YouTube is giving it to the world, but we can't really access it. It's almost like a carrot or something. So we ended up working with some freelance developers to create a YouTube API plugin. And we decided to build it around WordPress, because that's something that a lot of people have. It's already hosted in the cloud. So just by plugging in our YouTube API key into WordPress, the plugin that we've created, we can automatically download our YouTube chats, interact with them, and pull them into our video productions. And that includes a lot of different things, such as live subscriber counts. So I know a lot of people do 24/7 live streaming. It's nice when someone subscribes to show the next subscriber. There's a lot of different things in the API. You can do chats. So one of the things that we do on our live stream is we show who's in the chat room. So you can show a picture of the person who's in your chat room. You can show their message, their profile, and it really just boosts audience engagement. And if you want, I can kind of show you the plugin.
So we'll do that during the hands-on session. But what I'd like right now is you can go, if you can you pull up the plugin website and explain a little bit about how people can get it if they don't win it today?
Yes. So here is the plugin here. It's chatconnectpro.com.
Chatconnectpro.com. Okay.
If you don't win, it's it's only $5.
I know, it's super expensive. You guys are like charging an arm and a leg for this thing.
We just wanted it to be just enough so that, hopefully if enough people want this, we can continue to support it and add more features.
Right. I think that's a very good choice.
It was just enough. I didn't want it to be offensively expensive. And then the $10 one is we are adding Facebook integration. So the dream is, and this should be possible, in order to pull in Facebook and YouTube chats into a single place where not only can you add them into your live video production, but also just to see them all in one space and not have to worry about two different chat rooms.
Yeah, so chatconnectpro.com. And again, if you want to learn how to do it, watch the learning session. Paul also has some great resources on the webpage there. And he's created some great documents to help you through it. It is a little tricky. So we'll talk a little bit about that during the learning session, and I'm sure it'll get easier as we get further down the road. Still early days with this. But you just added Facebook support. It's not quite out yet, but you've completed that, and the update should come out soon. And if people want to grab a copy, again, you have a free version, you have a $5 version, you have a $10 version. I don't see any reason why people shouldn't pick this up. Let's maybe give it away right now. You down? I think we have some winners.
Let's do it. We have 10 winners. So let's go ahead and go here and draw the winners. So we'll draw all 10 winners. Everyone's going to get an email from me with a Dropbox link that's going to be just a free download of the plugin. Now, you do need WordPress for this to work. If you don't have WordPress, I can work with you to host a WordPress site, but you can also go to GoDaddy and things like that.
Cool.
So we've got Robert Imbrale,
drum roll, Robert
Daniel Ilardo, Lutz Conez. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names.
Lutz Conez, yes, he's watching right now, and he was curious about the link to the plugin, so that's perfect. Oh, he was also wondering if you guys have a reseller in Europe for your cameras. So I think you might want to add that question. Answer that to him personally when you email him.
Perfect. I'll try to remember that one. We definitely do. Mate Poljak, Ricardo Leon, Jay Rosansky, Brown Kate, Chris Widener, Farah M.N., and Albert Padley. Thank you all for joining. Looks like a lot of people visited Wirecast on Facebook or simply click to enter. Really appreciate it, guys. We will send you that link for the plugin, and stick around for the learning session. I can show you guys how to use it.
Congratulations, you guys. And thank you, Paul, for giving those away. And actually, we may offer one more chance to win a copy or two of the plugin. So we will be, if you want to get more on that, you should subscribe to the show email list and or to the Wirecast or PTZOptics email list, and we will be able to give you more contest details on that. All right, Paul. Well, congratulations, you guys, you lucky winners. You did not have to spend $5 or $10, as the case may be. I think that pretty much wraps up our main show for today, Paul. We'll have you back on in just a little bit after the closing credits to do a hands-on learning session with the plugin. So if you guys are watching the live stream, you should definitely stick around for that. If you are watching this on-demand version, we will put a link to the learning session in the show description, so you can check that out there. And I will wrap up the show here with a few announcements, and thank you to our sponsors. And Paul, thank you for being on the show today, and I will see you in just a bit. All right. Well, that was our sit-down interview with Paul Richards from PTZOptics, and as you can see, there is a lot going on over with our friends at PTZOptics. Paul is definitely working night and day to bring you some of the coolest stuff, make sure their cameras are some of the most cutting-edge cameras you can get, and of course, this plugin that they've developed just continues to add value to anyone who's doing live video production or live streaming, particularly on social media channels like YouTube or Facebook. So I highly encourage you to check that out. Also, go check out the streaming awards while you still can till the end of the month of June 2017. And as far as the few announcements, we have, if you want to find out any upcoming webinars, shows, information, you should head to telestream.net/events to find out the latest information and any upcoming shows. There will be no show at the end of this month. We will be out at ISTE in San Antonio in booth 135. So I'm looking forward to being out there that week, and it should be fun. If you are in the area, please stop by the booth. It's always fun to see you. And as a former teacher, I love talking with other teachers in the education space and learning what they're up to and seeing how we can help them. And I want to say thank you to our sponsors for this show. We would like to thank them all. They make this possible every day. And PTZOptics, of course, is one of our partners. We love working with them. And if you like the show, please subscribe or head over to our email list at telestream.net/WirecastLive. Again, that's telestream.net/WirecastLive. You can subscribe and get all the latest information on the show, as well as any upcoming giveaways, guests that we have coming on. All right, that's our show for today. Thank you for watching. And if you're on the live stream, please stick around for the learning session. Otherwise, we will see you next week, Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'm your host, Andrew Haley. Thanks for watching.